Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Fans in Motion, the Ultimate Night Ranger podcast. As Andy would say, the podcast that you didn't know you needed. Now, if you look around, you'll see just me. There's no Andy and there's no Brent. Andy has been crazy busy with work, and Brent, he's probably been just crazy. So, in order to get an episode out this week, you get just me. But that's actually a good thing, right? So sit down and relax, and let's have some Night Ranger back and forth, me and you. I'm so happy that you joined me. All right. So, yeah, so someone needs to probably tell you that Christmas is next weekend. So, you don't have as much time as you think. So, you better start getting some shit. Um, rest of your gifts, get the stuff wrapped. Definitely get me something. You probably need to know that. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to do what we call the news, notes, and minutia in the Night Ranger world. Um, I'll just start with a Night Ranger in Troy, Ohio. Night Ranger last weekend was in Troy, Ohio, playing the Hobart Arena. Um, the next night, they were in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, opening for Loverboy. So Troy, Ohio. Um, saw a lot of fans in motion there. It was a very good show. Played, I think, Rumors and a few others. If you were at that show, there were a lot of good photos that everybody was taking. Good time indeed. One of the cool things that most of you probably already know. If not, I do the social media for Night Ranger and their individual pages. Um, One thing that never gets old, I guess. I was actually helping them out a little bit the day before, and so the next morning I get up and go for a walk, and I come back, and I'm walking in the hotel lobby, and who do I run into? Mr. Jack Blades. And we start talking, and we decide we're going to go to Starbucks, and we go to Starbucks. And who do we run into at Starbucks? Kelly Keagy. And so I'm sitting there with Jack Blades and Kelly Keagy drinking a coffee, and we're joking around. And I said something about, well, tonight, everything will be good as long as you play me a track from Neverland. And on cue, Jack starts singing. I'm pretty sure it was Forever All Over Again. How cool is that? I'm living the life, guys. I'm living the life. Um, but so there's two more shows left this year. There's one out in um out in is it Vegas? There's Vegas on December 30th, and there's a California show on New Year's Eve. So go to the Night Ranger website if you want to get tickets for that, or you can go to the link tree or Bands in Town. Those are three great spots to get your Night Ranger tour dates. Um, so just a couple more shows left in the year. Uh, the big announcement that came out last week is the Bret Michaels Parti-Gras 2023. 12 dates announced. There is actually 13. 12 dates announced. Bret Michaels is headlining, and he will be bringing out guests on the tour. Steve Jerry used to sing for Journey back in the early 2000s, did a couple studio records with Journey. And a couple of those studio records, some of those songs Jack Blades co-wrote, and Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. So they'll be joining during Bret Michaels' show. And then you got Night Ranger is in the middle, and Jefferson Starship is opening. So pretty good lineup. Um, Jefferson Starship. It's the lineup that has Um, David Friedberg, who was in the last incarnation of Jefferson Airplane and was with the whole Jefferson Starship era, and Donnie Baldwin, the drummer, who was in some of the Jefferson Starship era and was in the regular Starship um, era as well, which would be like, Built This City and all those knee slapping tunes. So, are you going to go to any of those shows? There is uh, one date that's not really part of that Parti-Gras. It's called the Ohio Freedom Fest. That is in June. So it's this one date that's kind of an outlier. Um, but you have that's June 23rd, Mount Gilead, Ohio, a little bit north of Columbus. But then you start out July 13th, which is a Thursday in Detroit, and they're playing basically, Pittsburgh and then New Jersey that weekend. So these dates after that are all Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, St. Louis, Chicago, Noblesville, Indiana, which is basically Indianapolis, Tampa, Georgia, and North Carolina. So uh, definitely hitting some cities that they haven't played in a while, especially the East Coast. So tickets vary in price. I mean, as any concert tour, you can spend about as much as you want. I saw somewhere that the front row tickets for one show was over $1,000. Um, listen, um, it sucks, but it's the music business, and unfortunately, people were buying them for that price. So um, it is what it is. But I did see they had lawn tickets for like $16. So I would say for this show, just get the $16 tickets. Save that extra money up for some booze. There's very delicious, um, $12 beers, and just go and party, have some fun, listen to some good music, and go see them in the front row at one of their other shows where they're not on that tour. Um, so yeah, should be a good time. Some new dates have been announced. They do have a date in January in Iowa, Larchwood, that mighty metropolis. Show that I am definitely going to because I love these old venues, and I pretty much use Night Ranger now to be able to go and look at these venues. February 5th, Nashville, Tennessee, at the Ryman Auditorium, original home of the Grand Ole Opry. If you've never been there, it's very cool, a lot of history. Now, Nashville's changed a lot in the last 20 years, like every other place. But, when you're old, it always changes, not for the better, it seems. It used to be, and I'm even sure when I was there 20 years ago, people were going there, this wasn't like it was in the 60s. But, you know, uh, the strip there in Nashville is great. All kinds of bars, all kind world class musicians playing all day, any time of the day. But these places have turned into what really country music has turned into. It's not really country music anymore, and these little honky tonks are no longer honky tonks, or 3 or 4 level bars with rooftop bars and um, everything. And so not quite how it used to be. You can still, there's a few places, Roberts, um, down there on the strip next to, um, oh, I want to say Toodles, but I don't think it's it. Um, it's still got the old, honky tonk going on. But I used to love going to Layla's Bluegrass Inn. Drink a lot of PBR there, but it's again just a little bit too flashy. But you can still go and have a good time. I recommend that. I always would go, and I would start drinking early in the morning, like at 8 a.m. One, you can't drink all day unless you start early. Two, beer was always cheaper and it wasn't as crowded. And even at 8 in the morning, they would have live bands, just because there's still people out and doing stuff. And with it being in Nashville, there's so many talented musicians. Even at 8 a.m., these bands are probably better than any band you would see in your local hometown drinking establishment. So there you go. Go to Nashville, Ryman Auditorium. February 11th, San Juan, Puerto Rico, before they hit the Rock Legends cruise. February, Tulsa and Salina, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Salina, Kansas. March 24th, they got a date in Ivins, Utah, and March 25th, State Line, Nevada. April 22nd, Rock from the Heart. I might be at that one. That's Baltimore, Maryland. May 19th, Winchester, California. I think that's like a wine and balloon festival. June 10th, Sunbury, Pennsylvania. It's like some winery with 38 specials. So go there, drink some wine, get drunk, see Night Ranger, throw stuff at 38 special. June 23rd, Mount Cute, Ohio. June 30th, Algona, Iowa. So if you've ever been wanting to go to Algona, Iowa, I would suggest June 30th because Night Ranger would be there and you can do that whole two birds, one stone thing. July 8th, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's like a bike rally or something. So, you can go and, go see the historical sites and then, you know, go get in a biker fight and go see Night Ranger. Um, I guess the only Civil War joke I got off the top of my head is, there's this soldier and he's fighting in the war there, Civil War in Gettysburg, and big explosion, and he wakes up and um, he wakes up in the medical tent, and he's like, "Doctor, doctor, I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs." The doctor goes, "I know. We had to amputate your arms." Anyways, I'm here all week. So then you got the dates in July and early August for Bret Michaels and the Parti-Gras 2023 tour. There probably will be some dates added during the week for some of those shows, so more stuff coming there. Also, just announced. I don't know exactly where it's at. If it's in the Bahamas, but I think it's in November. Fun in the Sand or something like that. Kind of like a 3-day rock festival. Night Ranger has just been announced for that, and there's a couple other shows I think have been announced. I'm a little bit behind on that, so thank God I don't have a Night Ranger podcast, or I'd be slacking. So there you go. Some of the new Night Ranger dates. So it's good to be a Night Ranger fan. You got plenty of opportunities to see them. Um, it looks like they're getting out of Ohio and Wisconsin a little bit, so the rest of you should be happy. Um, I put a post up maybe a couple weeks ago. I got Fans in Motion shirts being made. Here's what it looks like. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. If you're listening and not have a video, I'm holding up these shirts. Imagine a beautiful shirt. It says Fans in Motion logo on the front and on the back, always on tour. It states, because no matter where Night Ranger goes, we have Fans in Motion members at these shows. So we are always on tour. Originally I was $30, but I got it down. I bought a certain amount and I got these down to $25. That will include shipping to the United States. So if you are interested, um, send me a message on Facebook and I will get you the details. They have been delayed a little bit. I was hoping to get them at the end of this week. It looks like I will not get them until the middle of next week. So I may get them shipped before Christmas, but I do not think they will arrive. So if your loved one or significant other this was at the top of their Christmas list, which understandable, it probably would be, they may not be there when Santa Claus arrives. So, but there you go. Fans of Motion shirts. A lot of people have been asking, a lot of good feedback on those. And yeah, show your Night Ranger fandom. Um, And when Brent's on here, we'll talk a few more things about Troy. Uh, there were some good things. I posted a video where um, Brent got to go in the Night Ranger huddle, and I filmed it for him, and so some good stuff. We're just living the dream, guys. We're just living the dream. Uh, here's some good exclusive news you only find here. When I was with the band and um, at Troy the night before, I got a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the edited version of the Danny Rapepi Night Ranger with the Contemporary Youth Orchestra video that is going to be eventually, hopefully, released on DVD. And um, all I can tell you is it's fucking excellent. All right. So many cameras. I mean, it was better. It's already better than that Chicago DVD that came out a few years ago. Uh, it's it's very very cool. Um, yeah. So guys, we got that look to look forward to. Very cool. Um, what other Night Ranger news do we have? So former members Joel Hoekstra, remember him? Night Ranger guitarist, 2007 to about 2014. Currently on tour with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the East Coast, not the West Coast, East Coast, touring apparatus. So Joel's out there on tour, and it was announced that Joel and Jeff Pilson of Dokken and currently Foreigner are replacing Jack Blades and Doug Aldrich in Revolution Saints. So there you go. If you were a Revolution Saints fan, you like I said, Doug and Jack. Their schedules are just so crazy that I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, you just got um, Doug doing everything with the Dead Daisies all the time, and Jack is always doing something now with Night Ranger. So I think it was just a schedule thing. Whereas Foreigners had some time off. They don't start their farewell tour till next year. And then Joel Whitesnake's pretty much on hiatus right now. So with that, instead of, the TSO, that's really about it, except for some of them campfire shows that he's doing. So there you go for that. What other news do we got? Well, if you are on Instagram or Twitter, you would have seen an interview with Kelly Keagy. I don't remember what podcast or whatever it was on, but Mike Vanderhoel from Y&T, the drummer, uh, posted it, and where Kelly talks about the Mike playing some of the drums on the tracks that Kelly's working on for his next solo album. And Kelly mentions that he has about 8 tracks ready to go. So there you go, a little update on the Kelly Keagy solo record. Obviously, nothing close to coming out, but he's getting there. 8 tracks pretty much done. So there you go. It's good in Night Ranger world. We got the DVD release hopefully coming up. We got Parti-Gras, lots of other Night Ranger dates. Yeah, life's good. Life's good, right? If you're not saying yes, you need to just look around and be thankful for one, you're hearing my voice right now. That should be enough to lift you up. So there you go. So what else we got? We do like what, Night Ranger collectibles or something like that. So I had this laying around. Look at this. Do 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 do. Dun, 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 dun. This is a Japanese magazine advertisement for the new record, 1997 America Night Ranger album and single, now on sale. Japan tour, Japan first, which is Neverland. It's saying that's coming out first, which Neverland did come out first in Japan, came out later in the States. And then Japan only, the New York Time EP, which included Walk in the Future, which is on the US release as just a regular track, but it was not on Neverland, the regular Japanese album. So if you bought Neverland from Japan when this came out, and then you went and bought the version in the States, you kind of had a bonus track on the one from the States because Walk in the Future was on it. So there is the New York Time EP that had, again, Walk in the Future, New York Time, and then like I think a couple karaoke versions, like of just instrumentals of You Still Rockin' America and Don't Tell Me You Love Me. There's Neverland. Um, so there you go. There's the photo. Kelly Keagy, Jeff Watson, Fitz, Jack Blades, Brad Gillis. There you are. So there you go. Night Ranger store. If you go online, go to the Night Ranger store, you can get one of these hats. Look at that. It's nice. Kind of like I wore it there. It's a little dirty. So they got these. They did a little bit of inventory and some new stuff, old stuff that hasn't been on the store in the store has been added on. They found some stuff. The yellow vinyl of ATBPO, which was the web store exclusive, I think limited to 400 pieces. There are some copies up for sale on the Night Ranger website. So go get that. You can get the hat, $25, $30, something like that. The Danny Rapepi long sleeve shirt has Night Ranger on the front, the Danny Rapepi stuff on the back. It's on the website now. You can get this. This is like a little scarf for your, your dog or your cat, ferret, elephant, whatever you own. And I've never opened it. I bought one at the concert in Cleveland last month. So here you get to see it firsthand. All right. So it says instead of "You Can Still Rock in America," rock is crossed out in bark. So I guess it really wouldn't work for your elephant. But so there you go. So $15, I think, on the website, practically giving it away. So there you go there. What else do we got? Man, you even get to hear me cough. A little bit of fans of motion stuff. What do we got? Well, let's see here. Wade Lucas. There was a couple posts about the Mojo era, and Wade was kind of responding to that. He posted some photos of him in northern Minnesota with Night Ranger during the Moon Ranger era. So look at that. But we all have something wardrobe wise that we regret. Mary WS posted this. A friend just sent me this photo that I would share. Jack Blades during the Rubicon era. And everybody's going on there trying to, who is that? And I tell everybody, and no one listens. That is Dennis Marcelino, who just recently, unfortunately, passed away. But he was in the horn section for Rubicon. And he is the one that Johnny Cola from Huey Lewis and the News, who we interviewed earlier in the year, he replaced Dennis in the middle of 78, right towards the end of Rubicon. So go back and listen to that. A lot of good Night Ranger minutia there. But there you are. Jack Blades, the Heartthrob, and Dennis Marcelino. All right. What else do we got here? So, hey, and by the way, Mojo is a Night Ranger record. Night Ranger is not just Jack Blades. So if it's got a Night Ranger logo on it, it's Night Ranger. Look at Tom Chapin. Got the Christmas story, and he's got a keychain as the ornament there. So not too bad. And so does Sarah Griffith. Look at that. See that? She's actually got the ornament. She's not cutting corners like Tom Chapin. Kelly Hartzell and Daniel Hartzell, um, who I see at a lot of Night Ranger shows. Kelly's New Year's resolution for 2022 was to go to a concert once a month. She said she didn't quite make it, but she did go to 12 concerts. Most of them were Night Ranger, and she made a little list there. And I was at probably most of these. January, February were both Night Ranger. April, Night Rangers. July, Night Ranger. August, 2 Night Rangers. September, Night Ranger. November, Night Ranger. December, Night Ranger. December, Night Ranger. Holy shit. Yeah, so she's definitely supporting the band. Way to go. What else? Trina Lovins, I saw at the Troy show, and she brought. There's another post with it, but I'll show you the picture right now. She brought her daughter, I think. I saw them at the meet and greet. I took some extra photos of them. I'll show them here in a second. So there we go, the young Night Ranger fans. Melissa Atkins Miller took some photos before the show in Troy, showing the fans of motion, people getting together beforehand. You got, them with, look at that guy, Brent. There's Lisa and Daryl. I think it's Robin and Gail, maybe. And, there's others here. There's picture of Carrie. So good stuff. There's Trina. Here's that photo right there. Look at that little Night Ranger fan. How cool is that? If you're listening, man, you're missing out. Not only are you not seeing this cool little Night Ranger fan with the band, but you're also not seeing me. And I'm easy on the eyes. So here is one of our Japanese fans, Taka Kazu, yeah, something like that. Showing his VIP collection there. Look at that. Pretty killer, pretty nice. So yeah, and what's great too is and here's the video of the pre-show huddle that Brent got to join. And what's cool too is I was also able to get a lot of cool live stuff on each of their pages. So if you definitely go to the Night Ranger page, I got the walk up and them going on stage and coming out. So a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff. So there we go. It's a good 2022. I'm sure we'll have an episode where we kind of do a year in review or something like that. But thank you for joining me and getting your Night Ranger news and whatever your fix. Yeah, and if you get a chance, watch A Christmas Story Christmas. It's not as good as the original. What would be, And if you're one of those people that hate everything, well, then you're probably going to hate that, and you're a miserable person to begin with. But it's good to watch. Again, it's not like the original, but it's a good continuation. And if you're a parent or you've lost loved ones, you can see little bits of your own life in that movie. So I thought it was a very good, sequel. There's nothing they could do um, to match the original, but I thought they did a good job with what they with what they did. Yeah. So what else? Anything else? I don't think so. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to us here on the YouTube. So go up, click subscribe. Everything is really is out of the Facebook page. So if you go to Fans in Motion on Facebook and click join, that's where all of us are at. Basically, I mean, we do have Twitter and Instagram. I would urge you to go and follow and like and all that good stuff. And you can listen to us on all the major iHeart radios and Spotify and all that stuff. And what else? We do have a website, believe it or not, fansinmotion.com. So you can listen to everything there. You can get the YouTube links and you can get uh, the MP3 and just listen to it. So there you go. Yeah, I don't want to leave you. I feel like we need each other right now, and um, I don't know if there's any more antidotes that I can share to complete your life. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think harder next time. You can see that I wrote my notes like on my kid. He's in kindergarten on his paper. And I mean, if you're like me, I think you feel a little guilty. Like they bring them so much, and you try to save stuff, and then you're like, okay, some of the shit's got to go. And the key is not letting them see it in the trash. But I needed something to write on, and today to make some notes, and I was like, I looked at this one like I don't really know what the fuck he was doing here. It's like, you know, so this is a good one to write on. So there you go. All right, I will get off here. So hopefully we'll have an episode next week. Thank you for joining us. You can still rock in America and all that good stuff. I will talk to you later. Staring out a window at the hotel room. Sun always comes up way too